Namaskar dosto. Hello friends, this is your friend Dr. Sanjay Kumar. I welcome you back once again in another amazing series, that is Shrimad Bhagavad Gita series. To talk on this, we have an amazing spiritual guru, the most intellectual person I have ever met. She is none other than Rajeshri Joshi, the Krishna Dasi from the India. Let's welcome her. Welcome, ma'am, to our show.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, viewers, also. मुझको सुनने के लिए, to listen to me today. Give your time because it is very important, very important and spiritual book, right? And important for growth, expansion of the soul. That is important.
थैंक यू सो मच मैम। जैसे आपने बताया कि आज का ये जो हमारा शो है, श्रीमद् भगवत गीता की जो सीरीज का पहला पार्ट है, जो ये बहुत ही ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है फॉर द ग्रोथ ऑफ आवर सोल। थैंक यू so much, ma'am. First of all, I'm very much honored and privileged, and I feel blessed that I got chance to learn from you about the very holy Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So thank you so much for your valuable time. Ma'am, before moving on our show, I just request you just give you a brief intro so people may become more aware about you, that who is Raja Shri Joshi. Over to you, ma'am.
I am basically a teacher educator and a high school teacher. Nowadays, I'm working as a high school teacher, GRA group of institutions, and as a social science teacher, I'm appointed. And I'm a NLP coach and spiritual consciousness coach, mind trainer, happiness coach. So many things are there. I have written several thousand books, academic books also, and they are in different schools all over India. And workbooks, last year only 6 to 10 workbooks are released. And so, but writer also, editor also, and many non-academic books also I have helped people to write, and I have developed many writers also by helping them to write books. Even somewhere I dictated full complete book to 1 or 2 persons, right? So this is, you know, by God's grace, it's all happening. And I have also established my own proprietorship, Tarangini Healing or Tarangini Consultancy Services, which is engaged in the service of mankind. And also we provide coaching of various subjects which are related to development of personality, growth of an individual, right? So this is a very important thing. And during pandemic, I have also started mind scan, body scan meditation and brain yoga, which have healed people, many people. So this is all about my work, and still we are continuing with the new ventures. And one of them is this one, Bhagavad Gita, which is nearest to my heart. Yes, this topic.
Wow, ma'am, amazing. You are already done lot of work, and you are already serving the mankind with your work, with your dedications. And I salute you for your noble work you are doing for the human beings, for the mankind. That's really amazing. Now, ma'am, we are moving to our show, that is Shrimad Bhagavad Gita. Ma'am, my first question to you, that who were first listener of Shrimad Bhagavad Gita? वो पहला
Okay.
इंसान कौन था जिसने
पहले
श्रीमद्
कौन
भगवद गीता?
किसने सुना था? यस, आज
यस,
वैसे सभी जानते होंगे कि भगवान कृष्ण ने ये उपदेश दिया था अर्जुन को युद्ध क्षेत्र में, महाभारत के युद्ध क्षेत्र में। तो उस समय जो वहां मौजूद थे, वो तो खुद अर्जुन जिनके कि भगवान कृष्ण सारथी थे और उनके गुरु थे और मेंटर थे, तो उन्होंने उनको उपदेश दिया। और साथ ही साथ जो अर्जुन के जो रथ था, तो उसमें उसकी ध्वजा में हनुमान जी भी रहते थे, ठीक है। तो हनुमान जी जो है उन्होंने भी सुना। अब इसके अलावा भी और लोग थे, जैसे कि संजय संजय जो थे वो उनको दिव्य दृष्टि प्रदान हुई थी। एक्चुअली महर्षि व्यास, वेद व्यास ने देनी तो ये धृतराष्ट्र को चाहिए थी, लेकिन जब धृतराष्ट्र ने मना कर दिया तो संजय को दिव्य दृष्टि मिली। और उस दिव्य दृष्टि के आधार पर वह सारा महाभारत का जो वर्णन था पूरा आंखों देखा, total description. He used to describe Dhritarashtra because Dhritarashtra was blind, right? So Sanjay described him every scene, every moment, and Bhagavad Gita Updesh, whatever was occurring in the battlefield of Mahabharata. So every event was described by Sanjay to Dhritarashtra. So Dhritarashtra and again, Sanjay, both are there. One more person was there. About him also I want to say. Barbarik. Barbarik was Ghatotkach's son. Now, Ghatotkach was Bhim's son, right? So Bhim's, you can say, grandson was Barbarik. Actually, Barbarik, what happened? Barbarik wanted to take the side of anyone who was weak. He said that I would take the side of any. The question was asked, whose side you will take, whether you will go to Pandava's side or you will go to Kaurava's side. Then he said that whoever in the war will become weak, right, to that side he would go. And his going to that side meant a lot, because he had immense power, immense strength, like Bhim had. So same power was there. So that was why the gods, they got troubled by, because when you suppose Kauravas will feel weak, because there was 100% chance that they would feel weak. Even they had Narayani Sena of Lord Krishna. So, but with them, if he will go, that means loss to Pandavas. So just his head, he was beheaded, right? And he had ये एक वरदान उनको भी दिया गया साथ में। उन्होंने ही मांगा था कि मुझे कोई बात नहीं है, कत्ल कर दो, मार दिया जाए मुझे। So he was beheaded, but he was given that this divine power, that his head would stand there at one place in Mahabharata. It would be alive totally, and it would watch every event in Mahabharata. It would even listen to whatever everybody is saying. तो वो जो सिर था उनका, वो अलग होकर के भी जो थी उसमें जान थी, और वो सब कुछ जो महाभारत में इवेंट्स हुए थे वो सब कुछ देख सकता था। तो जब तक महाभारत चलता रहा वो सर अलाइव रहा, ऐसा वरदान उनको। So Barbarik was the other person. So like this you will come to know many stories also from Mahabharata. So it's a very interesting episode we are continuing with, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. You shared that the first person who listened the Mahabharata, that is Arjun. Second is Shri Hanuman, who was on the Rith for Shri Arjuna Rith. And uske baad Sanjay, who listened. Luckily, my name is Sanjay too. Thank you so much. And the fourth person is Barbarik. He got Vardhan. Though he was beheaded, but he got Vardhan. He was there till the end of Mahabharata. So he was the fourth person who listened the first Bhagavad Gita. So thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing wonderful stories, and as well as the very explaining each and everything. Ma'am, my next question to you: that who wrote the Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita को किसने लिखा?
The writer of Bhagavad Gita was Maharishi Vedvyas, right? Pandu and Dhritarashtra were his son. Okay, so Vedvyas wrote Bhagavad Gita. Right. He wrote in fact, Mahabharata, and Mahabharata includes Bhagavad Gita. Gita Updesh of Lord Krishna to Arjuna, it is in Bhishma Parva, right? Bhishma
Yes.
Parva. Mahabharata has many Parvas. We will talk later on upon Parvas also in some program, right? Because they are very long, and so different Parvas are there in Mahabharata. So Bhishma Parva includes that Bhagavad Gita Sandesh, right? Of
Yes.
Lord Krishna to Arjuna. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. As you shared that Bhagavad Gita was written by the Maharishi Vedvyas, and why Mahabharata happened uh, between the son of Maharishi Vedvyas, the Pandav and Kaurav, and the Mahabharata
So,
happened between them. And because of Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, Shri Krishna told Bhagavad Gita to the Arjun because of this Mahabharata. And thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for sharing this. Ma'am, my next question to you, भगवत गीता में कितने श्लोकास हैं और कितने चैप्टर्स हैं? How many
yes.
श्लोकास and chapters in Bhagavad Gita? Yes, ma'am.
Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters in all, and these have 700 verses, 700 verses or shlokas, right? Out of these, the first shlok is spoken by Dhritarashtra, only one. Right? Only one shlok is from Dhritarashtra here, and others by Arjun. Arjun has spoken 84 shlokas. 41 have been spoken by Sanjay, and rest of the 574 shlokas are spoken by Lord Krishna. So this is the breakdown of 700 shlokas, 700 verses. Right?
Wow, ma'am.
The very
Yep.
first, in the very first shloka, Dhritarashtra asks Sanjay, what is happening, what my sons and Pandu Putras are doing in the Yuddha Kshetra, in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, right? So that is the only shloka spoken by Dhritarashtra. धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेता युयुत्सव मामकः पांडवश्चैव किम कुर्वत संजय, क्या कर रहे हैं, what they are doing Sanjay, what my all sons are doing in or Pandu Putras, what they are doing in the battlefield. So after that only Sanjay starts describing the events of the battle.
Wow, ma'am. Wow. That's really amazing. As you also recite the first shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, and as well as you shared that there are 18 chapters in the Bhagavad Gita and 700 shlokas or verses, and you also break the one shloka by the Dhritarashtra, and then 574 by the Shri Krishna, and 84 by the Arjuna, and 41 by the Sanjaya. So thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing this and making our knowledge more valuable. Thank you for such valuable points. Ma'am, now my question that Bhagavad Gita called 6 by 6. What does it mean? 6 power 6.
Actually, no, it is called Geet, right? Geet. It is called Geet, right? Geet is
Yes.
why it is called Geet. Geet means the Gita word itself is has arrived from Geet. Geet means song, right? So Bhagavad Gita, it is spoken in a particular rhyming meter. It is called Anushtup Chanda. So there are 32 syllables in each verse. So rhyming meters are used to narrate different verses. And another thing is that when we say that it has been spoken by God, So it is in Sanskrit also, Devvani. Devvani, Sanskrit is said to be Devvani. So original Mahabharata, which is written by Valmiki, is in Sanskrit only, right? So Devvani, because it is a Devvani and it has a rhyming meter, so it is also called as the song of God, divine song, right? That is why Geet, from Geet, it has become Bhagavad Gita. That is what here I
Wow.
wanted to say. Yes.
Wow, great, ma'am, amazing. The way you explained 6 power 6, that's really incredible, ma'am. That 6 by 6, it's a Geet, and Geet means the song. And the Sang and the Vani, which comes from the God itself. So
God,
it's song of
divine.
God, that divine song of God, that is Bhagavad Gita, what it's actually
Yes.
mean. Wow, wow. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now my question to you, that how Mahabharata and Bhagavad Gita are related to number 18.
Yeah, 18, yeah. We know that just now I told you that Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters, right? So Gita, Mahabharata, both are related to this. They have the relationship with this number 18. The battle of Kurukshetra, it went on for 18 days, right? And chapters in Gita are also 18. Now, 18 people are required for ritual of sacrifice. And the word 18 in Sanskrit itself means sacrifice, right? So, and as far as the in battlefield, we see that there were the number of elephants. The battle was fought. There were elephants. Cavalry was there. Chariots were there. So all the numbers also, when you sum up, they become 8. Like there were 21,870 elephants. Now, if you add up all the numbers, here digits, if you add up 21870, what does it come out? What is the sum? 21,870. So what is the sum?
8,
Kijiye Sanjay sir.
8, 8, 18,
18. It comes out
8,
18. So
18.
elephants were also 21,870. Chariots were also 21,870. Now there were cavalry, horse riders. 65,610 cavalry. Now again you add up the sum.
18.
65,000, it comes out 18. And then there were 10 lakh 9,350 infantry. In fact, there was a ratio of cavalry and infantry. See, chariot and elephant had 1-to-1 ratio. 1 chariot for 1 elephant. And 3 cavalry is to 5 infantry. This was the ratio kept. Actually, this war was fought with very discipline. It was based on the principles of discipline, dharma. That's why it's a dharma yuddha, fought for dharma. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata abhyutthanam dharmasya tadatmanam sujamya. So Lord Krishna says now, whenever धर्म जो है उसको हानि पहुंची है तो उसको हानि से बचाने के लिए, उसको नष्ट होने से बचाने के लिए मुझे इस पृथ्वी पर अवतरित होना पड़ा है. तो वो इसीलिए आए, धर्म की रक्षा के लिए, टू सेव धर्म. So the battle was fought on the principles of dharma. So dharma became victorious in the form of Pandavas. Clear? So that is why I see all the principles are there. See, numbers are also so much, auspicious, and they are related to each other, right? So if we add all the digits, they also become 18. This was how it went on, right? So now the size of Pandava's army was also said to be 7 Akshahini. That at that time army men total number was measured in Akshahini. Akshahini is the term. and one Akshauhini consisted of 2,18,700 warriors. Right? 2,18,700 warriors were there. Now you add up these warriors. This number 2,18,700. What comes out again?
Again 8.
18. Right?
Yes.
Again 18 is. See, so this was one Akshauhini. And it is believed that the size of Pandava's army was 7 Akshauhini, while that of Kauravas was 11 Akshauhini. Now
That
again
number
sum
again.
up the army. Again 18, right? You know that why Pandavas was less and Kauravas was 11? There is a story, you know, when Yudhishthir came to invite Lord Krishna, right, for battlefield. He went to Krishna for giving the invitation to the battle, and he found that Krishna was sleeping at the time, right? He went and he just sat down near the feet of Lord Krishna, right? He sat down there. Similarly, this Duryodhana also came. He also found that he was sleeping, right? Lord Krishna was sleeping, but he did not sit near Yudhishthira. He just sat near his head, right? Now, when a person gets up, what happens? Where does he see first? Where does he look at? Downwards, right? Towards his feet, not towards our feet. Head. Yeah. So Lord Krishna, he saw immediately and found Yudhishthir there, and he asked Yudhishthir that Yudhishthir to say what he wanted. But then immediately Duryodhana interrupted. And Duryodhana said, I came first, so you listen to me first. Actually, he came first, but he did not sit towards the feet. He sat towards his head, right? So Lord Krishna said to him that I saw him first. That's why I asked him first, right? I saw you later now. Okay, you want, what do you want, right? So both of them came for invitation. So Lord Krishna said, at one place I will be there, but I won't lift the bow and arrow. I won't lift the weapon, right? And the other side, my Narayani Sena will be there. So who do you choose? So Duryodhana said, I will choose first. Okay, Lord Krishna said, so Duryodhana selected his Narayani Sena, right? And and Yudhishthira said, no, I am enough with you. You are there, it's enough for me. So this was how it went. So Narayani Sena means obviously they were more in number, right? So 11 Akshauhini, it was that was the number.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing and explaining in such a detailed way कि किस तरीके से नंबर 18 जो है महाभारत और भगवद गीता से रिलेटेड है कि महाभारत में जो भी चीजें हुई वो उन सब का जो चाहे फिर वो कितने
I want your voice is slightly down. Voice.
Okay.
Voice is slightly.
Am I audible?
It's low. It's quite low.
Okay, it's quite low. Okay, now it's clear. Am I audible?
It's very low actually. You have to speak louder a bit. I think when phone came, that's why the voice became low itself.
Yeah. Okay, now
something like that.
Okay, now my voice is audible. Now my voice is audible.
Yeah, you say I will listen with concentration. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. आपने जो वर्ड 18 को रिलेट किया भगवद गीता और महाभारत में किस तरीके से आपने इसको जिस तरीके से एक्सप्लेन किया, दैट्स रियली इनक्रेडिबल. Thank you so much for sharing such a valuable information. Now I request to you, my next question to you, that why one should read the Bhagavad Gita? Why
Yes,
one should read the Bhagavad
yes, yes.
Gita?
So, yes, definitely. Bhagavad Gita can serve. You can listen my voice now. Is it audible? Yes.
Yes,
Okay. So Bhagavad Gita can serve as a spiritual guide to everyone, right? Because it discusses about the nature of mind, body, and senses, right? It tells us how to keep control on our mind. Because unless and until mind is controlled, senses cannot be controlled. And our actions and behavior, that will be determined if mind will be under control. So accordingly, our actions and behavior become, right. Then another thing, Bhagavad Gita tells about the relationship between man, human beings, right, or any being, dharma, ethics. Here, ethics. Dharma means ethics, moral values, right, and karma. What is your duty? What is your actual duty? Then there is about bondage, that you are here, your soul was pure when you came on the earth. You came empty handed here. But here, as you gained material wealth, you started getting bonded into the world, right? This is a Maya from which you have to liberate, because at the end, nothing will go with you. Only you have to go empty handed, like you came here. You had arrived here empty handed, and you have to go from here empty handed. So, how will liberation be possible if you are involved in this bondage? Right? So, if you want that this repeated birth and death cycle should end, you have to get liberation. Then you have to come out of this bondage. So detached love, right? Detached love should be there. Detached attachment. Attachment should be there, means love should be there. It should have universality. You are loving everybody. If you are seeing God in everyone, then you are loving everyone. In the same way, see, it's all a body relationship. When you say he's my brother, he's my sister, he's my mother, he's my father. Were they so in the previous Janma also? Right? We can't say. Right? We can't say. It may not be so. Somebody else might have been our parent in the previous birth. And we don't know even what kind of previous birth we had, right? Because there are 84 lakh species. No, and we have to get birth in that also, other species. Human birth means a lot significance, because it's human intellect which can identify what is good, what is bad, what is good for the development, what is good for growth. And here only we can attach with God. Attach with God means serve God in all forms, right? When we are serving individuals also, considering them as soul, we are serving God. Yeah. So that is why, for spiritual development, Gita is reading of Gita, listening to Gita is very essential. So gradually we will also cover up one by one. We'll take each chapter and identify various shlokas, important shlokas. And I would like that everybody should recite also those shlokas and try to learn them, grasp them, right? So,
yes. Wow, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing such a valuable points. The way you shared that one should why one should read about Bhagavad Gita. जैसे आपने बताया कि it's your spiritual diet. अगर आपको आपके माइंड को कंट्रोल करना है, अगर आपको अपने आप को डिटेच करना है फ्रॉम अटैचमेंट, लिबरेट यूर सेल्फ फ्रॉम बाउंडनेस, आप आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे कि आपकी ड्यूटी क्या है। मतलब कि आपको आपके हायर सेल्फ तक पहुंचना है, तो इट्स भगवद गीता विल हेल्प यू। As Bhagavad Gita says that it's your body that is temporary, but it's your soul that is the ultimate truth, that is the eternal. So thank you so much that Bhagavad Gita help us to reach our high self, to identify that our soul, to identify the truth of life, to reach, if you want to reach the moksha, the nirvana state, that it's Bhagavad Gita that help you to reach that higher moksha, the nirvana stage. So thank you so much, ma'am, sharing such a valuable information. Ma'am, I have already taken a lot of time of you. I do not want to take much time from you, but just ask one last question. Please give answer in brief, and we will talk about that and question in talk about detail of that question in the next live session, because I know that I have
Yes, definitely.
already taken a
We'll be
lot of
talking
time.
at length about, I'll tell about various chapters and what they say. And then I will pick up first chapter, and then from there, all important shlokas also I will recite, and simultaneously I will explain them, right? It's a
Yes, ma'am.
wonderful scripture, and we are doing a good job. And thank you very much. Much gratitude, Sajay sir. So you you have done a remarkable task by starting this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. I feel very much fortunate and blessed that I got chance to listen you from the spiritual guru who helped many human beings in different field. So thank you so much. I feel myself very fortunate and very blessed that I got this chance to learn from you, to listen to you about the wonderful Bhagavad Gita, which is actually the divine song sung by
Yes.
Lord Krishna himself. So thank you so much for
Thank you very much.
coming to coming to this show and sharing and teaching all of us about this divine song of Lord Krishna. Thank you very much. I'm very much blessed.
Thank you.
Many gratitude. Thank you, viewers. This is all about for very first part of Shrimad Bhagavad Gita. We have learned, we have listened Sri Rajeshri, the most intellectual person I have ever met. We are what we have to do, just listen her and learn from her wisdom. She actually enlighten us with from her wisdom. So thank you. Stay with us. We will come very soon for next
Thank
episode. Stay happy, stay blessed, and please love your mothers. Thank you very much. Bye bye and namaskar.
you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. It's blessing.